external antenna on a Nighthawk M whatever. In this case I have the M6 with me. So this is an ongoing video series on the testing the Adelaide Hills. I've demonstrated in the previous video the success that you can get with a Teltonica RUT 950. Also just want to see what a Nighthawk could do for you, or what you can do with a Nighthawk to make that a better antenna, a better device. So the Nighthawk M6 as is here, just want to see what actually we get. So it reads by itself, it says Telstar 4G, and it reads 4 bars. What that actually means to us just here outside in the hills, as I said in the previous video, there's we're in the hills, there's a lot of trees behind us and in front of us, so it's not like we are actually in a good signal area. So just 4 bars doesn't tell us really what's going on. So let's just go into the screen here, go to your little app. So this Nighthawk app is definitely quite useful, because that gives you everything that you need to know about the modem itself, rather than having to try to find out or just guessing 4 bars, because it doesn't tell you what band you are. It doesn't tell you if the signal quality is good. It doesn't tell you if the signal to noise is good. It just tells you there is a signal, but the quality could be really terrible. That's something you just need to know. So we say settings, you go into network, advanced info, and down at the bottom you can see what it says. Okay, so we are on band 28, which means this modem as it is here with the internal antennas and the remote area is on band 28, which is 700 megahertz. And our signal quality and everything is, there we go, RSRP is -99, so it's on that borderline, the fringe, as well as same with the previous one. The signal to noise is 6 dBm, so I should be 6 dB. It reads dBm here. That's okay, so it is functional outside, but bear in mind this is actually a normal property, so the Nighthawk is almost never going to be outside. It will be used on the inside. That's where you will use the external antenna to get what is outside and available in a stronger version, because of a better antenna with the X-pole, and then route that to the inside. So let's do speedtest.net and just see what we can get. Speed tests, the little app, and we test it. So ping 27, not bad. Download is running at about 50, so that is quite phenomenal. Upload, that's where things are not as competitive, so about 10, 11. Now, interesting topic that I will discuss on a future video is actually speed comparisons between various devices, because there was a conversation that we listened to when Teltonica announced their RUT X50, the 5G modem, and there was a question posted on the Q&A by somebody, might have been me, about the benchmark comparisons, and they actually gave a whole list of different features that are involved in assessing performance of a modem. And what you look at is not just the actual speed number, but also there's things about security and firewalls and all sorts of additional features that are involved in other modems. So it's actually quite an interesting topic, and definitely something for a future video. Oh, well, we got here, ping is 27, that's awesome. Download 50, upload is 14. So that's the antenna, the modem by itself, when it is outside without an external antenna connected. So let's go and connect an external antenna and see what we get. So the first thing is the TS9s are never all that popular. So it is quite fragile little connectors. And we do often have returns that people say, well, the connector isn't working. What you see is that if you don't put it in correctly, or you force it or so forth, the actual center pin there would bend and it creates a short. It still registers as a connection to the Nighthawk. So the Nighthawk actually says, there's an antenna connected, but it's all shorted. So it's using what is not there. And that makes it actually a pretty poor customer experience. The other thing, when you insert it, in is in. Like, it actually feels like it's not deep enough. This is it. Once it's slid in and it's in position, there's nothing else you need to do than just say, well, this is connected and it has an internal connected. So just do the other one. It's really just go straight in. Don't force it too hard. It slides in and it stops, and that's really it. You have this thing dangling there, and this is now ready to be used. Now at this stage, the modem actually thinks there is an antenna connected, so it's using a non-connected antenna. We could see what the performance is. Another thing that we see often, and I've learned it earlier today again, is it might be a good idea to restart the modem when once you've connected it, just to avoid any confusion. It may have an effect, so it may be interesting and good and a better signal. In this case, because it wasn't band 28, it may stay on band 28, but perhaps the network might tell it, now you're going into a higher band, and then it gets all confused. I mean, of course, you're eager and you want to test it, so you may want to test it, but it's probably just a good idea to restart. Which I'm going to do now, because it's just, I think it's just a better idea to restart the modem, wait for it till it's finished. How do I do that? You go to up, you go to settings, or you just power down. If you're lazy like me, you just say restart here. There we go. So we just reset the modem so that it's registered to the new antenna settings and everything, and the network is now acknowledging this is the modem, which is the modem by itself with an antenna on the roof, and that's the connection we get. So let's see what changed. So first thing is going to the Netgear app again. It's going to look for me again. It's in settings, network, advanced info. We're still on band 28. The RSRP is minus 89. We used to be 99, so that's a 10 dB jump on the same band. So that's just linear. So 10 dB better with an X-pole on the roof than the antenna or the modem on the outside. So that's significant. Signal to noise 7. It was good. It is still good. It's slightly better, but it's just really the signal strength is significantly stronger. So let's see if that actually gave us a different result in terms of performance. Ping is the same as 39. Download is, well, it's running at about the same speed, but that is often expected. So 36, 38, 40. I think the upload is the one where we will see a difference. Yes, indeed. The download is 40 on the first test. Upload is 20, 23, 24, 26. So that's definitely, I think it's more, no, it's way better than the previous test. So yes, about 29.8. Awesome. So download's 40.5, upload is 29. Significant difference. And the key thing though is the, as I said, in the fringe. So if you get to minus 100 dBm signal strength, if things go funny, if the weather isn't as great as it is today, you will start to get problems. And that's when you're on the fringe, it will fall into a kind of an area you don't want to be. With an antenna, you're way above that. And then when the weather impacts the whole system, you drop down, but you drop down to where it's still good enough. With this performance, with minus 89 signal strength, man, you're clear. You're actually really in a good signal area. Things will just work better, and the modem will stay connected and still remain reliable, even if there's some adverse weather events. That's really it. So, of course, external antenna works well. This is how simple it can be. The complexity now is going to be setting up the whole setup, but that's more a local electrician or somebody else's kind of focus. So the principle of an antenna is really simple. That X-pole will be on the roof, on a pole, runs the cable through. As I mentioned before, cable losses is something that can be managed. So depending on the cable length that you need, that you could buy custom length or specific 5, 10 or 50 meters from RF shop, we'll select the correct cable type. Then this is the kind of performance you can get with the modem hidden in a cupboard or somewhere where it makes most sense for you as like a resident of the house. And the antenna is positioned where we as a kind of antenna company would say, that's where you want your antenna. You say, this is where I want my modem, and then just the cable in between, and these are the kind of speeds that you can expect. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.